Okay. So is it fine now? Am I audible? Let me enable the chat, friends, once again. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Okay, let's start the session. I hope, okay, 7 members join, 3 more to join. Okay, let's see. They will join in between and let's start our session. Give me a second. Let me open my stuff. So I hope you're all able to see my screen. Okay. Yeah. So just for a brief recap, typical new students who are joining the session. Uh, Welcome to Logic Labs learning sessions. My name is Rujan and I'm having like 8 years of experience in IT. And coming to the AWS, I'm having around 5+ years of experience as an AWS administrator and AWS consultant. So we are here to learn the course AWS Solution Architect Training, batch number 215. Please remember the batch number 215. And I would request to note down the email ID support@logiclabstech.com, which will help you to communicate with our team for further discussions and all. Okay. So coming to the course content and all, to download the course content, please scan the first QR code available in the slide, right? And if you want to register, please scan to the below QR code, right? The time duration is from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. from Monday to Friday. It will be like 1 hour session every day. And the duration is 5 weeks. Actually, it goes from 4 to 5 weeks in between. So the course may complete in 4 weeks also, as per the speed of the course and as per the session. The course fees is 2499. And if you want to discuss anything with our team regarding the course, regarding the registration, regarding the contents and all, please reach out to these numbers, which are mentioned in the slide. If possible, you can take a screenshot of the slide. That will be great. And you can contact via email also, right? So coming to the queries, if you have any doubts, please reach Logic Labs. And if you have a doubts during the session, you are unable to ask the tutor, then you can simply email them. They will reach out to the tutor and we will reply back on that. In that way also it is possible. Okay. And one request, there is no batch shifting. Once the course has started, that is the only timeline we have to follow. It's a humble request. And to get updates of the sessions, please join this WhatsApp group. I will share it in the chat. That will help you to understand. And whatever the sessions happen, that will be recorded immediately and get uploaded into the Graphy portal, where you will get notes also. We will upload the notes too into it, so which will help you to understand. And just for the confirmation, the Logic Lab support team is available from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Right? So this is the stuff. And coming to the course, let me show you the course content of it, which will help for the new students to understand. Coming to the course, I will go in fast pace, don't worry. Right. So this is a course which we are planning to complete in 5 weeks. It will have both theoretical and as well as a practical one. We will go in parallel side by side, and we will discuss about the network basics. What are the kind of network basics we have? We will discuss about the AWS certification part 2, means what kind of certification you will prepare by this course and all. And components are, and we will discuss about computer components as we discussed in the last 2 days, last two sessions. We discussed about the data centers, introduction to virtualization, and introduction to cloud computing. We discussed, right? And we discuss about public, private, hybrid, and expenditure. Also, we will discuss basics of networking. What is LAN? What is WAN? and discuss about the IP address, IPv4, IPv6. What is private IP address? What is public IP address? And network address transition, okay, NAT. What is mean by CIDR range? And what is the meaning of subnet? What is a OSI model? These are all like basic things, right? Just for the information, it will create a bridge between your knowledge and the AWS cloud knowledge. Okay. So now the core content of the course will start, AWS cloud. So we'll discuss about what is AWS, what is its public cloud, what is mean by region, what is mean by availability zone, what is higher availability, AWS data center redundancy, overview of the AWS services, what is networking, storage, compute, database, DNS, etc. And we will discuss about identity access management, IAM users, IAM roles, IAM policies, like that. In the same way, AWS virtual private cloud, creating of the one instance, right? What is VPC, how to create it, we will discuss. In the VPC, we will have a sub-components, which are like subnets, NACL, route table, public, private route table, internet gateway, NAT instances, elastic IP addresses, security groups, right? The flow of network traffic in the VPC, compute, elastic compute. Okay. This is till flow of network traffic in the VPC. What it is that we'll first create a network. Okay. With the help of a VPC, we'll create one network. After creation of the network, we will start putting the resources into that network web. Okay. So in that, the first one comes compute. After creation of the VPC, if you want to run any application, we need CPU memory, right? So that is being provided by the compute. Okay. So in that, we will have Elastic Compute Cloud. We will discuss about the types of OS flavors. We'll discuss types of instances, on-demand instances, reserved instances, AMI also, right? And storage, right? We will discuss about block storage, elastic block storage, understanding when to use block storage. We will discuss. In the above, we discuss about CPU memory. What about storage? So the storage also important. So that is been covered under the storage part 1 category. We discuss what is storage, types of storages, what's the use of the storages, how to create it, manage it, check it. All these things will be discussed in the storage configuration sectors. We will discuss about the snapshots. We'll discuss about the Elastic file system too. And we discuss next level of course, that is higher availability. Means giving the resources, whatever the scenario happens, that is called higher availability. Whatever the natural disasters comes, whatever thing happens, but our services should be available. So that is what the higher availability goes into the picture. Okay, we'll discuss about the load balancers, types of load balancers we'll discuss. And then we will discuss about the oldest service provided by AWS, that is S3. Simple storage services for the first services provided by the AWS in the IT industry. It's an oldest service by the AWS, which has helped a lot. Various kind of infrastructure have got help with the help of by using S3, which is called as simple storage services. Then we will discuss about the DB related stuff, that is relational database service, DynamoDB, Route 53. Okay, Route 53 means flowing a traffic in the network. Okay, sometimes what happens, the traffic may cause a issue and there will be latency. So to counter strike those kind of issues, the route table and Route 53s will come into the picture. They will work to mitigate the issues with the traffic. Okay. And coming to the routing policies, we will discuss. Then we will discuss simple email services, AWS Active Directory services, which is not used actually currently. We will discuss about AWS backup services. We'll discuss about identity access management. What is this identity access management? Till now, we discuss like we will log into the console, we'll use the services, we will use EC2 instance, storage, S3 and all, right? But there should be some cap on the security norms, right? Like which users should have a permission for the services, what kind of users should have eligibility to use the services, right? For suppose you are having two teams, storage team is there and the infrastructure team is there. Infrastructure team will provide the resources, and storage team will provide the storage part, right? So we should segregate their permissions in that manner. So that all kind of policies, rules are managed purely by the identity access management. They are like a security team. They will provide a permission to the user. They can revoke the permission to the user. They can modify the permissions for the specific group of users. So these kind of things which we will discuss in the coming sessions of IAM actually. Okay. Now next point is AWS command line basics. What is this command line basics? Till now, we log into the AWS console and we are using the graphical user interface. We are using the mouse, clicking the services, and the resources are created. But what if we can go in a different way, like using the commands, right? Like how we use the commands in Windows to run something. The same fashion, AWS has a CLI commands. You just configure the AWS CLI, give your credentials, and run your commands automatically. Whatever the services you want, that will be created in seconds. So that is what the beauty of using the command line interface. Okay. So this is what we will discuss during the course, right? So till now, any doubts, friends, please let me know so that I will try to clarify related to the course or related to the content. Okay, we got some doubt here. Once again, Divya. Yeah, Divya, please speak.
Yeah, is this going on from scratch, or do we need to attend any course before attending these sessions?
I would say no, Divya. We are starting from scratch only. So you don't need any basics to join this course actually. Like you don't need to prepare for like C, C plus or Java. No, like that. It's directly straight. You can join the course. It doesn't require
Okay.
any prerequisites for this course.
Okay, actually, I'm from testing background. So if I
Yeah.
want to, I mean, go to cloud testing, will this be useful for me?
I am not sure about cloud testing, but if you are using the services related to the cloud, then yes, definitely it will be useful for you.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Divya. Thank you for your doubts. Okay, Sridhar got a doubt. 1 second, friend. 1 second. Yeah, Sridhar, tell me.
Yeah, hi Srijan, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm able to hear it.
Yeah, Srijan, you mentioned this command line interface, right? So
Yes.
in real time, what is going to be used? Whether it is GUI based or command line interface?
Most of the AWS administrators or AWS consultants use like 70% to 80% use GUI only. Okay,
Okay,
so when they use a CLI means if you are like highly skilled, suppose like 5+ years of experience you're having in AWS, and if you want to run some automations, like now the trend is in automation, means without clicking anything, our work should be completed. So in that case, if you want to run any scripts or that, in that case, the CLI will help you to navigate via AWS cloud.
okay,
Okay, it is not like that if you don't know CLI, you cannot survive. No, it is not like that. If you know how to use the AWS console, that means you have almost fine to take up any task in the real time. Okay.
okay. So do we have that GUI access also in our work environments? Are you saying that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Like yesterday, like how I use the how I log in the console, right? Yesterday by giving the credentials. In
right,
the
right.
same fashion, in the IT world also goes in that way only.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah, because what happens is, see, AWS CLI is a little bit tricky. If you run a wrong command, it will totally affect the infrastructure. For suppose mistakenly we type delete EC2 instance, automatically whatever the EC2 instances, whatever the servers available in infra will get washed out. What will happen? The team will come and they will scold us that you have deleted the EC2 instances. So that's the reason why only few people will get a permission from the teams to do the
okay,
work on CLI. But I would suggest go with console level only first.
okay,
Okay. Once
okay,
you understand the console level, then you will be fine to take baby steps towards the AWS CLI.
okay.
Right?
Thank you, Srijan.
Yeah, no problem. Any more friends, please let me know. You can speak anything, no issues, right? It is not like that. We should ask only something like correct questions. Anyone can ask anything. Chetan, Divya, Badri, Mrudha, Puneet, Saurav, Sridhar, Vineet, Tripathi, and all. Yeah. Any doubts you have, you can fix. Anyone has a language barrier? Feeling difficult to understand the language English? Anyone here? It's open. It's not like don't feel shy on it. You can speak up like I need some another language or something. Is it there? No, right? We are fine with English. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, friends. Let's proceed further. So this is what the course which we will cover in the coming 4 weeks. Okay. And the thing I would suggest is keep a notes with you or a notebook with you, and note down the points whichever we discuss. You feel like it is important to remember. And I will also point out that this is important to discuss, right? So that will help you. One thing I would like to say here is, see, by completing this course, it is not like that you can straight away go and write the solution architect examination. It is not like that in a real time. You have to complete your course, take some real-time experience on the AWS by joining any organizations or joining any projects or any freelancing projects, whichever you have. Get the real-time experience of the AWS and then start to think about AWS Solution Architect Associate examination. Okay, here you may think for experienced candidate is fine. If he's experienced, having some knowledge in AWS, he has done the real time. If he goes with that certification, that is fine for him. But the people who are in fresh or who are in transition mode from, let's say, for example, one of the student told from testing, they're migrating from testing to the cloud testing or something like that. In that duration, don't go for the certification because the certification cost is almost around 150 US dollars. It is almost like 15 to 20,000. If you fail the exam, you will get one more option. And after that, it is failed and you are dead. No money will be refunded. So get the knowledge first on AWS, get the practical knowledge on it, and then think about certification. Here you may get a doubt like 2 persons are there in interview. One is having a certification, other is having not a certification. But if the person who is having certification is not having a real-time knowledge, then he may get a phase 2 maybe rejection because he's unable to give the answers in the interview panel. Okay, the certification will give a star to you. I accept it. But without the knowledge, it is tough call for us to go further in the real time. Okay, so that's the thing which I want to suggest before going further. Okay, see, don't feel like he's like telling not to take certification or something like that. No, don't feel like that. First, coolly absorb the content, learn the course, then think about certification part. Okay, right. This is how the course is. So let me go to the AWS console. Give me a second. How many of you joined the session today who have missed the last 2 sessions? Anyone in this group? Right. Okay. So all are in sync. Fine. So friends, this is what the AWS console looks like. Okay. I will share you in the chat. Okay. So this is what the AWS console looks. Okay. And if you go to the far right hand upper side, you will see signing into the console. So this is the gateway to log in into the AWS console. Okay. If the people you are new, we have to register for it. I will share that also. I will tell you how to create an account in the AWS. Okay. So one point to remember here is after logging into the AWS console, be cautious while using the services. Okay, there are few services which are chargeable, so you have to thoroughly check which service is free. Okay, once the billing starts, suppose for example you have created one so services and you create and left it like that, the billing will continue for it till you stop that service. Okay, so the billing will goes from 500 to 2000, 3000, 4000, or it may go up to 10,000 also, depending upon the cost of the services. So be cautious. Whatever the practice you do in the console, create it, do the R&D on it, and straight away then delete it. That will save your time and your cost on the accounts. Okay, otherwise you have to pay the money for it on yourself, or if you don't pay the money, they will block your account. Okay, so I would say be cautious while going into the console and all. Okay, so coming to the course, this is a console, how it looks. Okay, and before going into the console, if you want to know some information about the certification part, you can go with this documentation. Okay, or you can simply type learn, click the learn here. Okay, and you would see there are various things are there. If you click learn, getting started with AWS. Okay, and here you will have certifications too. It's a good website. You can get many things here, friends. Okay, so or you can type in AWS certification. Okay, so this is what the certifications looks. So these are the types of certifications, friends. Okay, so if you see, this is the first level of certification, cloud practitioner fundamentals. Okay, it does not require any previous experience. So that is what AWS is, friend. One of the friend asked, right, do you require any prior experience? No, you don't need prior experience for AWS course. Okay, and here you will have, if you go for the associate level, that is the next level. You'll have three types of solution architect associate, developer associate, sysops administrator. So currently we are going through this one, solution architect associate. The course which we are going to do is this one. You may get a doubt what kind of roles this solution architect does, right? So suppose you are an IT specialist. Okay, you are having your own company and you want to migrate or you want to set up an infrastructure in a cloud. In that case, these people will come into the picture, solution architect. Okay, the IT engineer will share his details, his infrastructure structure and all, how many resources they want, how many count of it. They will give that information to the solution architect. He will collect that information. He or she will collect the information. He will analyze from himself and he will share the blueprint of the infrastructure. So that is what the AWS solution architect does. He is like an infrastructure engineer, I would say simply. If anything happens in infrastructure level, the solution architect associate will come into the picture. Okay, so they will check, they will rotate. If there is a load on the infrastructure, the solution architect will come into the picture. So this is what the solution architect roles do. It is really an important role, friends. The IT is booming a lot in cloud. Means I am not telling in a fluke, but I'm seeing the transition which is we're able to see in the real time. Even the small budgeted companies are also trying to migrate to the cloud actually. So that is what the workforce required in the coming 10 years actually. I am not sure about 20 years, but in coming 10 years, that is what the booming happening. And I would say one more example, like there are few engineers are there who knows two clouds. For example, they know AWS cloud, they know Azure also. So like that kind of profiles are also coming into the picture. Okay, so this is what the solution architect associate does. For example, I would give there are various roles on AWS. One is AWS engineer, AWS consultant will be there, AWS solution architect will be there. Okay, infrastructure engineer will be there. So these are the people who runs the infrastructure. Okay, You may get a doubt, what are these developer and sysops? These are all like a development tool. Means the people who are in the development will have to go through this developer and the sysops section. Okay. But one thing here common is whatever the thing you learn in this solution architect course will be there in this two also. That means he has to go through that same course, and then they will get an add-on of development tools. Means what kind of development tools they use, CI/CD pipeline or Java or Cloud Java or whatever it is. I'm not sure about it. So this is what the certification path is. Okay. First is fundamental, and the next is associate. Then the next and the last one is solution architect professional. It is the last certification, friends. Okay. And this certification cost around $300. This is 150. This is $300. And you would see it requires a prior experience. That means a person should have an AWS cloud experience of at least 2 years. And he should has to do this solution architect associate certification also. That will give an add-on to the certification. Okay. So this is what it means. Okay. Right. Any doubts in the certification diagrams? Please let me know. Okay, fine. So now let's go back and log in into the console. Click signing into the console. So this is how the AWS console get logged into it. Okay. So from Monday or Tuesday, I will tell you how to create an AWS account. Okay. So that will help me a lot. So let's go a little bit. We will discuss 2 topics today and we will stop the session because on the starting days, going into deep will cause an issue. Let me open the notepad. So you're able to see the lines in the notepad, right? No issues, right? Zooming, yes. Okay, fine. So today's topic is region and availability zone. We will discuss these 2 topics today. Okay. If time permit, we will go further. So what is this region? What is this availability zone? In a basic layman layout, region means an area, right? Suppose you are having some region, right? In that region, you will have some facilities in it. So that is called a region. Okay. And what is this availability zone? We'll discuss. So what is the relation of AWS with this region thing? What is this? There should be some relation into it, right? Okay. So let me open the paint. So we know that the cloud is everywhere. Suppose you feel it like a cloud. This is AWS cloud. Okay. I would say AWS cloud. Okay. So it will cover the whole world. Okay. So whoever the user want to access, they will able to access it. Okay. Whether he's staying in China, whether he's staying in US, whether he's staying in Australia or New Zealand or Russia or Europe, whatever it is. Okay. So they will try to access. Right. He wants to access AWS. He also has to access AWS. Right. So what happening here is these are the few users who are in some region, who are staying in some area, and from there they want to access this AWS console. Right. So if a person who is staying in USA wants to access the China server, it is a little bit difficult. If he wants to do the work which is on the, suppose for example, the US person wants to do the work on the system which is in China, it will be get difficult. There will be some latency, right? So if, for example, a New Zealand wants to work with an India server, then it is also a little bit difficult, right? So coming to the region is a location where the AWS has established their own cloud infrastructure. Okay, so I will share you that there are different kind of regions available all over the globe. Okay, so our regions are nothing but an area where the AWS cloud has established the infrastructure. Means they have their own cloud there, and whoever the resources or whoever the company wants to use is, they will select that specific region and establish their infrastructure. Here you may get a doubt, why should I go with a region which is near to me? Okay, if let's say I'm saying in US, I would say I will go and create my region in Australia. You're telling it's a global, right? So I can create anywhere, I can communicate it, right? But here the point and the logic is how far you create your services, there will be latency in it a little bit. Okay, because the main thing is if your team is staying in USA, then take a region which is available in the US only. That will first decrease your network latency. Network latency means delay. Sometimes you may see a website, you enter the website, you will see it will still loading. You will see a circle that will still revolves for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and after 10 minutes, you will get the website, right? So that is called as a latency. Means fetching the data from the specific resource which is located far away. So to distract these kind of things, the regions has been established. So the AWS has established region in Canada, in USA, in North America, in South America. If I go by continent wise, in Europe they have centers. In Africa they have few. In the Middle East they have few. In Russia they have. Asia they have. China they have. And you can go for Australia, New Zealand. So they have established their own footprints of regions or AWS data centers in their respective domains or respective geographical location. Okay. So what's the use of using the region in the AWS console? Okay. For suppose I am staying in Hyderabad and I want to set up my infrastructure in Hyderabad. So what I have to do is I have to select the region, and in that I have to opt for the suggested region where I can establish my infrastructure. That how I will do it. Let me show you that also. But before that, let's go to the AWS. Okay. And type AWS region. So see friends, if you can see, AWS has established their regions in North America, South America, Europe, Middle East, Africa. Okay. If I go for North America, you would see these points, right? The blue points. So these are all called the region actually. Okay. So if you go further, you can see region. Blue color is in the region. And you may ask, what is this red one? Red one means it is still in process. It will show the location of the Canada. Here you can see Oregano. You can see North California. Okay. And you would see Northern Virginia, AWS GOV, Ohio, Canada Central is also there. Right. You go down slowly. So coming to the next, you can say in South America, you will have one in San Paulo, which is in Brazil, right? You have one. And again, if you go to the Europe region, Europe, you will have many, whether it's in Ireland, whether it's in UK, whether it's in Spain, Paris, Frankfurt, Zurich, Milan, Europe, Stockholm's. So this is how they establish the region. In the same fashion, if you click Middle East, it's an Arab Emirates and all, you will have UAE and all. Okay, Bahrain you have, Tel you have, UAE you have, right? So this is how it is available. If you go to Africa, you will have one in Cape Town. Okay, so and you can say Asia Pacific. You will say you will have in India, you will have in Thailand also coming. China is there, Beijing is there, right? So these are all regions, friends. Okay, so whoever wants to establish their infrastructure, they will go for it. Okay, coming to the Australia and New Zealand, you will also have here also too. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay, so if you go to the AWS console, friends, okay, let me show you that. Here, this is the console. If you go to the far right hand side of the upper level of the console, which I am telling is this one, you would see N Virginia, which is called as Northern Virginia. If you click this, you will see these are all called as the regions. Okay, you can see there are various regions available. You would see like 10 more regions are coming in the AWS footprints. Okay, so based upon the requirement, based on the budgets and all, the people has to select the region. Okay, so whenever you create any resources, the region, you have to change the region. Then you will be able to create a resources in it. For example, resources, you will take server. Okay, you want to set up a server, or I will say in simple layman, you want to set up one computer for yourself. You are staying in New York. Okay, so I will go with US East, Northern Virginia, or I will say Ohio or Northern California. So I will go for this region. I will not go with this Asia specific because I want to establish my infrastructure in UK region, US region. So I will go for it. If I don't have options, then I have to go for this. Okay. Simply one more example, I will say I want one server in New York and one server in India because my factory is there. All IT process, all sensors will be there. That should be managed by that system. So I set up a system in Hyderabad like that. So like that, you have to distinguish your requirement. Who will provide this requirement? The vendor or the user has to provide the details. He has to tell in which location he wants to set up the infra. Based on that, we will establish this infrastructure. Okay, so this is what the region. If you want to go for Ohio East, you select Ohio East. See, it has changed. So now you are going to create the services for this Ohio region. Okay, and one more thing, there is no connectivity between the region to region. If you create resources in that region, so that is bound to that region. You cannot communicate with that region. That is possible when I will tell you in the further sessions. Okay, so there is no bond between the region to region in the starting phase of the infrastructure change. Okay, if you want to go for, let's say, Mumbai, I will select Mumbai. I will create a resources in Mumbai region easily. Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay, so I would suggest you all to go and practice in Northern Virginia only for starting. Don't opt for any other services. Go for this US East Northern Virginia. It is the best option for you, where you will see a young number of services. Okay, and it is easy for you. Whoever the learners will be there, they will go for Northern Virginia only. That will help you to understand the region. Okay, and understand the resources. So that is called the region is. And what is this availability zone? There should be some meaning of availability zone, right? Let me share you that point also. Okay, you have a AWS cloud, right? And you have the regions. Say this is one region, this is one region, and this is one region. Okay. In AWS cloud, you will have a region, and inside the region, you will have the availability zone. Remember, availability zone is a part of a region. Okay. You already have a region. What's the use of this availability zone for that? What does it means? Let me tell you that also. We know that there is sometimes some due to natural issues or due to some conflicts, that area will get affected, whether it's a war, whether it's a cyclone, or whether it's a rainfall or sandstorm, whatever it is, or flooding. Okay. When the flooding comes at that area, the whole IT will down, the services will be get down. Okay. In that case, what will happen? Whatever the servers are available, that will get goes off. That means my work has stopped. So to eradicate these kind of scenarios, the people has established, the AWS cloud has established the availability zone. Okay. So if one availability goes down, this availability zone will work for you. Okay. That is the main use of using the availability zone. Okay. You will have many availability zones here. So that is the main use of using the availability zones. Okay. So how we select that availability zone is, you will see when you create an EC2 instances. Okay. So let me show you what kind of availability zones are available for us. You go to this, you select North America. See, you would see in US West, you are having 4 availability zones. In Northern Virginia, you are having 6 availability zones. In US East, 3, like that. That means they are having 3 data centers or 3 infrastructures, which will help you to give or provide the resources even in the bad situation also. Okay, so that is what the availability zones are. Okay, so any doubts, friends, in this? Please let me know. Okay, Sridhar got a doubt. Yeah. Yes, Sridhar, tell me.
Yeah, hi Sujan.
Yeah.
Sujan, in case of disaster, how the transfer happened between one availability zone to another availability zone? Is there any manual takeover has to happen, or automatic failovers will be?
Automatic, it will come on automatic failovers, Sridhar. So we should not do anything. We will select the specific availability zone, and automatically in the backend, the AWS will take care to so that the services will be available for. So that is why they have this availability zone option.
Okay, so in case of that automatic failovers, do we get any the delays?
I would not
Eventual.
say sure or not, but you will get less delays in your transactions or less delay in your services provision.
Okay.
Right, that will be negligible, means it will like a fraction of seconds. So by the human, they cannot detect it actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that is what it is.
Okay. So while creating EC2 machine, you mentioned we need to select this availability zone, right? So once
Yes.
after we select availability zone, based on that, whenever any disaster happen, AWS will automatically route the services to another availability zone.
Yes, exactly. One example I would tell you here is, suppose you're having a machine, okay, and it is being placed on any physical machine, means it uses CPU and memory, right? So what happens sometimes is, for suppose the hardware got affected, okay, what will happen? The system will have to search for another resources, okay. During that state, in a fraction of seconds, the machine will migrate to the healthy hardware services and it will get restart. Okay, so it will not able to see you. You will not able to see what is happening in the backend. But when you check with an AWS team, they will confirm with that the machine on which the hardware was placed was having a faulty, and automatically we have been moved it to the another healthy hardware service. That is what the availability zone helps in doing these kind of activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and will AWS will charge as per the resources built in the regions? Like if it is in Asia Pacific, will it charge one level of cost, and if it is in Northern Virginia, another level of cost? Is it like that?
Yes. That will be very fair. Yes. When you select for, I will show you that also. There will be AWS calculator will be there. There, when you select a region, automatically the costing budget will be reflected for that specific region.
Okay.
Right? So that is what happens there. Because there are few services which are available in one region that is not available in another region. And obviously you have to go to that specific region. That is also happens sometimes. Okay. So the budget will slightly vary. I will not say like 10 rupees or 20 rupees variation. No, it will be like in paisas or 1 rupee or something like that.
Okay.
So that way it will be.
Okay. Thank you, Srujan.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I got a doubt in a chat. 2 doubts. Yes, Chetan. They are basically a data center. In a layman layout, I would say availability zones are nothing but a data set. Yes. So coming to the availability zone, let me share you that. Okay. For example, you have selected Northern Virginia, right? And when you go and select EC2 instances, okay, for example, you're asking for availability zone, how it looks like, right? So you select it, go to the instances. Okay. But one thing I want to tell you is where this location is, we are not sure. The only AWS team we knows that. They have set that barriers that where your data center location is, they will not share with us. Because due to security norms, that is their concern actually. Okay. So when you go and click launch instance, okay, and here you would see if you come down, okay, you click for edit. So these are all the availability zones. See, friends, availability zone US East 1C, 1A, 1. For suppose here, I would select US East 1C. Okay, right. So this is how you can select it, and that will be available for as per your requirement. Okay, if you want to create a new availability zone, that is also possible, but we will suggest to go with the default one, which will help you to understand it. If you want to go with this, you can go with that also. So this is how the availability zones looks. But as Chetan telling locally, if you see on the website, they have just mentioned the number of availability zones available. They haven't mentioned the regions actually for this. Okay. So Chetan, you got it right. Okay, fine. Yeah. Thank you, Chetan. So this is how the AWS infrastructure looks is. Okay. If you go and change Ohio, you will change to the AWS instance. Okay. Here, one thing I would like to say is, or suppose you have created one EC2 instance in Ohio. Okay. And when you go into the Northern Virginia, and if you want to search for that server, that is not possible. The reason is that specific server has been created in Ohio, not in Northern Virginia. Okay. So in the real time, you have to search in a region wise also. Okay. So if your server is in Ohio, select the Ohio and go for it and search, you will find it. If you go and search in Northern Virginia, which is but the server is in Ohio, in the list you will not able to see. Okay. So that segregation is being placed here. Okay. In the real time, I'm telling, for example, you are in a system and someone says this is a specific machine, I want to restart it, please restart it. Okay. And he doesn't know where that region is. Okay. So then you have to go and search in a region wise. Okay. Basically, whatever the companies they goes with just few regions. That information we will get from the vendor seller. So you have to select it, you have to select the region and search there with a list of instances, and then you can do the power on or power off, whatever that is. Okay. So this is what it is. Okay. So till now, any doubts, friends, in this? All right. Okay, I am stopping the session here. Let me stop the recording. You will get the recording once you get registered with it.